Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Sorry for the crappy microphone again today. My good one is just refusing to work lately. So we'll get that fixed for tomorrow. And here we go. Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Friday the 17th, Friday, February the 17th, 11:02 a.m. here in the Arizona desert, and the markets are crazy. A lot's going on. Has the S&P 500 and Bitcoin actually parted ways? It kind of looks like it this morning. It would take a little bit more to certainly confirm that, but it's an interesting morning. Bitcoin's beginning to perk up, and it looks like some alts are getting ready to really explode. And maybe we can catch some of those. And some alts have definitely lost their dang minds this morning. So let's rock through it. It's a great Friday. We may actually have a trading weekend if this keeps up. Anyhow, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Check it out. As always, get yourself a gas mask. It's right there. Trust me, it's just an intuition based on fact. Get yourself one. Get one for everyone in your family. They're really cool. And also, if you ever want to get rid of a door-to-door salesman, just answer the door with a gas mask on and an AK-47 across the front of your chest. They'll just go away. Great way to get rid of those Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyway, FinViz. Right now, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500 cannot quite get it going this morning. All are slightly down. Dow 0.25%, NASDAQ down 1.47%, and the S&P 500 down 0.99%. Looking at the S&P 500, interesting day. Consumer defense, consumer defensive. What? Discount stores. Anyway, an interesting segment there. Consumer defensive. Anyway, whatever that means. Healthcare is in the green. Healthcare plans are in the green. Consumer defensive, whatever that is, like pepper spray and AK-47s. I don't know. Anyway, Procter & Gamble is up. So anyway, consumer defensive, discount stores, beverages, household products, tobacco, packaged goods, and stuff like that. Healthcare plans, healthcare, all up today. The energy sector, for some reason, the S&P 500 is really deep red. Not sure why that is. Anyway, Verizon, I think Peasy, Verizon's in the green today, even though communication services in general are in the red, like Google and Meta. And of course, T-Mobile's in the green today too. I guess people are using their cell phones calling for help in American disaster zones. Anyway, looking at the Bitcoin and crypto universe in squares, okay? I know, really. To get rid of those Jehovah's Witnesses, just answer the door in a full hazmat suit. I would like to have some of my old military mop gear, what do they call it? CBR, chemical, biological, radiological warfare gear. That definitely tends to freak them out. And I did not grab my gas mask for the show today, but I'm sure I'll be on this weekend, and I will actually start the show with my gas mask on, because I think that's just kind of cool. I'll be like, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Well, the clouds over Scottsdale right now, and all the chickens are dead. Anyway, that's probably not incredibly funny, but it's unfortunately kind of a reality. So I'm actually going to really plug those gas masks. Get yourself some, because there's a lot of people in Ohio and, Michigan at this point. Gosh, Western Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee, are all wishing they had a good Perky water filter right now and a gas mask. So with that said, Bitcoin volume today is insane. Bitcoin volume explicitly is 16.5 billion. I ain't never seen it that way for a while. So Bitcoin volume is insane for a Friday. Looking at the exchanges, spot trading pairs on the exchanges, all in the red, kind of decreasing today. Top 20, mostly all in the red, except for MEXC, which is a small but up and coming cool little exchange. I use it for some odd coins. Anyway, volume is decreasing over the last 24 hours in the big exchanges. So Bitcoin trading volume is insane. Bitcoin trading volume is insane, but spot trading pairs are not that incredibly happening today. Derivatives going down. It was like 10%. And now since first time I looked, now it's down 13% last 24 hours. So derivatives are incredibly high at 67 billion. But I think that's going to kind of trail off, if you ask me. I think we're going to see a lot of a lot of longs get wrecked and shorts get wrecked. And I'll show you why I think that as we go along. All right, looking at the 15-minute chart here, with some of the price action we've had recently, as you can see, it's kind of funny the way it plays out. It's like a heartbeat down here with the shorts and longs getting wrecked. The purple ones are shorts, yellow are longs. So it's kind of a heartbeat, like longs wrecked, shorts wrecked, longs wrecked, longs wrecked. I'm sorry, shorts wrecked, longs wrecked. So anyway, it's kind of cool to see we have these massive volume spurts that are pushing Bitcoin around, seeing big liquidations recently. I mean, liquidations that are big enough that if I had that, I could just retire. If I wish I had that liquidation, but you know who's got it now? CZ's got it. So be careful. We're seeing definitely jacket moves in Bitcoin. If you are trading with leverage, just be careful. All right. Let's see, looking at longs versus shorts right now for Bitcoin on Binance, 50% long, 49% short. Definitely, that's kind of a 50-50 bias right there. For Ethereum, 48% long, 51% short. So not a whole lot of faith in Ethereum right now, continuing its ride up. Bitcoin versus Tether here. As you can see this morning, it's a 45-minute chart. Definitely, we began to lose volume this morning. I'm sorry. So we pumped a bit yesterday. We continued sideways. We jumped earlier this morning, and now we're kind of slowly cruising back up. If you notice, this is something that the money loves to play right here. Is these just straight up ruthless gangster BART patterns? They're very common, so that's kind of what's happening. I think definitely some whales are looking to make some liquidity for themselves. There is a lot of institutional buying. Sorry, I have to start showing you that chart. It's like Bitcoin big holders. I forget, it's a site. And you can see the Bitcoin holdings. And if you just screenshot that every day, you can see the differences. And so I've been watching. Sorry, I don't have to pull it up right now. I'll start doing that. I'll make it part of my tabs that here, and we'll always look at that. We'll look at that because definitely whales are buying Bitcoin. Of course, it's OTC. You know how they do it. They don't want to affect the price, but they are cruising in. They're buying it. Okay, and they don't want to affect the price, but of course, sometimes they just can't help it as they play their games. They're going to. It's like my dog wants out. How'd you go? Anyways, so it's a great day today. It's a great Friday, insane Bitcoin trading volume, and the odds are beginning to move too. One thing I like that we're seeing here, put my little hat on here, is this perfect squeeze pattern here on the 45-minute chart. You can see this way. I'm sorry about that. I screwed that one up. You can see where it's kind of like this way, now down and up. They're starting to go back up. Sorry, that's the directional index in the ADX, but the same thing's happening there as is on the squeeze indicator. So we're seeing a nice probably move back up. It would not surprise me if we at least go to our previous recent high. Where's that cool thing? Horizontal ray, like right here. Bonk. I'd expect to at least hit that today. If we continue this uptrend, and if we hit that uptrend, if we actually do that, if we look at a forecast from where we're sitting right now, that would be probably about 2.5% in 5 hours or so, or something like that. So just that's kind of just a prediction looking at the charts. This is something really to notice here that got me was this here is look at this on a 45-minute chart. That's really massive buy sell volume coming in to move it a little bit. Definitely somebody wants to keep it here or here. This is an interesting moment. It does look like if we do another ray here, that previous low is definitely acting as resistance. So and you could, if you look at the buy sell volume here, and these are not buy or sell. This is both buy and sell put together. So we've really had a lot of money pushing right here to try to keep it from breaking above this recent lower high, I guess you would say, on the way up. So there's your low, like a lower high, kind of say lower high. And so this lower high here is really playing a real role in things. So when it breaks that, the way the indicators look that things are going, I think we're definitely going to see a move up. It would just make sense today. Looking at the hourly chart, really seeing the same thing. Big volume came in. That's really, really impressive. How's a 4-hour chart look? I wonder if we see that volume spike. Yeah, we can see some volume. That was definitely some volume. So right here on this candle on the 4-hour chart, we definitely had some crazy stuff going on. There was some big money playing games, probably like Michael Saylor and Z from Binance, just sitting there like like God knows what, dude. Playing games with each other. But as you can see, we did this little ray here. this area here is definitely the resistance to get above. So right where we're at right now is definitely in play. So it's a 4-hour chart. You can see we burst up, we gave some back, now we're moving back up. If I was to fire up a Fibonacci sequence like right here and take a look at things, how does that play in? Yep, it's kind of funny. It's the 236 fib level is acting as resistance. Once we get above that, it would not surprise me if we go up at least what? If we get to the recent high again, that's about 2% easy to make if that's what you're doing. And if you're a crazy leverage trader, then you can definitely leverage the living bejesus out of that. Anyways, the 4-hour chart's looking really great. Directional Nexus on the way back up after it dumped a little bit. ADX is in the right spot. We got some volume. It's good enough. I like it when they have the volume that we're looking at right here. That brings me great peace and happiness here, is that it's kind of sideways. It's not exactly increasing or decreasing. So the volume is kind of a little bit up and consistent. I like what I'm seeing there. Squeeze indicator is very, very powerful, looking good. Could we retrace? Maybe we're going to find resistance to the 236 and get back down to the 382 and continue up. We shall see. Right now, Bitcoin's got more positive energons than negative energons. Note this, of course, this is like a rather important thing to note here is that Bitcoin is here on the daily chart. You can see it's above the 314 moving average, and it is pretty much holding that. That's not bad at all. We go all the way back down on the daily candles here. Look at this recent wick low that we had back on Monday the 13th. You can see had a wick there. We came up, we got a wick up here. So we had on the 16th yesterday on the way up. So we could basically come all the way down to the 0.5 fib level. We're not even really close to there. And actually, really, if we look a little bit closely at this here, this fib sequence, I know it's very, very new, but still, the 0.5 fib level is like 23,200, basically 23,300. There's a place we could bounce at the 0.5 on the daily, and that'd be totally powerful. Also, the 314 moving average really is riding right there on the 618. So even a 618 bounce could relatively stay above the 314 moving average on the daily. So even a bounce around 22,800 would still be respectable. And that's the golden pocket right there. So even down to about, between like 22,850 to like 22,700, that's definitely a place where you could actually bounce within that golden pocket and still be doing fine. And we do see how the 786 even came into play around 22,176. So we are looking pretty darn good. And if we look at also another rather big picture item here, let me use this chart here. Boom. Okay. Let me nix this other stuff here. I'm going to use this daily chart here, and let's go way back to the beginning of history when all this began with a fib level. Let's go back to March of 2020. And you can see right now something that I find is very, very inspiring that I like to see is, we did kind of cruise below the on this fib sequence. We kind of cruised below the 786 for a while, but we pulled back up, got above the 200 moving average, and now it's all about challenging that .65 and .618, which is the 618 golden pocket. We are above the 384. I'm sorry, the 314 moving average. So we may come back down to test it. We'll see what happens, but we're kind of on the way up. I like what we're seeing. I think we've definitely made a break off that 786 fib level, and that's a very powerful and respectable place to bounce. So I dig it. I dig what I'm seeing. One thing that was kind of pointed out last night in the call that we have twice a week over at Blockchain Education, check out bitcoinlevy.com, and there's a link for that. If I remember correctly, one of the kind of possible predictions made is if you really want to mess with people, what could this week look like coming up? If we go to like say a weekly chart. One thing with the weekly is look at that. What the weekly did, break above, it wicked above that that 200 weekly moving average, which is really massive, and that will get some institutional attention. Just something. And let me not quote anybody else on this one. I believe this is what we were talking about. So just something to think about is if you really were a smart exchange and you're a smart big money and you wanted to mess with people and you got to create liquidity, realize that. I know people are very, very, some people very much doubt this, but liquidity is coming to an end for Bitcoin. I think like 80% is purchased. Somebody, it's not moving basically, and So, and we do have institutional buying of Bitcoin. So this is happening, and the institutions don't want to pump it. That's why they're buying it the way that they buy it, over the counter, as they say, or under the counter. And just be aware. So this week coming up, could we see something? This is a weekly chart. Could we see something like this? You know, boom, you got your red candle, and then what happens after that? You know, boom, and then you do. I can get this to move. Come on now, work with me. And then you get like one of these. Just a thought. Let me not quote anybody else on that. I think that's what I heard last night. But that's interesting conjecture, isn't it? So in a sense, if you were to do this with these weekly candles, you're going to get a lot of people now that are going long. You're going to trap them. You're going to wipe them out the following week. Then everyone's going to be like, oh, no, we're going down. So especially if you look here at the daily chart, look at some of these ranges we have here. Daily chart. So basically, if you were to do exactly that, you dump it, right? It goes below the 314. Longs are going to get wrecked. Longs are going to get trapped, a lot of them, you know. But then once everybody, you know, once that liquidity is eaten back up, those longs get wrecked. Then, of course, bam, you short squeeze it the following week back above the 314. 314, people are going to be watching that. They're going to go, oh, no, it's over, you know. Anyway, long, so like I say, people are going to sell. Long is going to get wrecked, and then they turn around when all those shorts are in place and boom, wreck those. They want your Bitcoin. So anyway, I know that's not exactly TA, that's kind of prediction, but just saying we're at a very powerful moment here where for sure you're going to see some stuff going on. And also, let me look at the, let me change the 314 quite briefly here to the 50. The 50 is often one that does come into play. Where's the 50 at right now? Bam. Okay, so there you go. So especially, what if you were to get really crazy and like dump it right below the 50, you know, and then you move it back up after that? That would be going down to like what, like 20,000. So, you know, 20,000. Could you even sort of like get a wick down there or be down there for an hour or two? Let's see what happens. If you start losing that confidence on a 50 moving average bounce, then I think you're going to see people going, oh no, what's going on? And also, let's check this out. Something else we've seen recently that's been figured out over blockchain education is this. The 150 moving average has kind of been in play recently with some coins. Anyway, that's below the 200, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But the 200 is way down there at like 19,100. But anyway, if we get a good dump on the daily, a couple days, like, you know, if you were to do something like, anyway, I don't need to like, you know, waste everybody's time kind of visualizing this, but this is a daily chart here, you know, and just like, what if you started, you know, seeing something like this happening, you know, clone, you know, you go a little lower. I can't do this quick enough. There you go. You know, you guys know what I'm doing. It's probably insanely boring, but I'll just do one more, you know. So next week, as we roll into the week, you know, you start seeing some action. Darn it. Come on, move for me. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. You start seeing some action, kind of like, darn it. Kind of like that. Sorry. I know some people can make this happen. They never even falter. They're so good at this. Anyway, there you go. So you start seeing action like that, and people are going to you're going to lose your, after about 5%, you're going to start losing a lot of your longs anyway. So if we were to do like a forecast here from where we are like right now, like how far, where's 5%? So if you just go to like 6%, that's going to wreck a lot of longs right there. So all you need is a little bit of, you know, red candle action for a day or two, or throughout the week. You're going to trap the longs. They're going to be out of luck. You know, they're going to be like, oh no, you know, what are we doing? And then the next thing, you know, like I say, then this candle comes in, and there you go. Boom, you know, boom. Now you can wreck the short. So longs get wrecked, longs get stuck, people sell, and then basically they get it down over 5%. Just right about then, boom, you're going to see that move up, and then you're going to see all the shorts get wrecked. Like I say, they want your Bitcoin. So just be careful. It's a good positive energy that we got going right now. Get some alts, make some money, do it however you're going to do it. Just be aware that you know, the coming week definitely could see some liquidity created for, you know, and they know what they're doing, darn it. They know what they're doing. You know, so anyway, here's my chart with all that mess. Okay, up here is Bitcoin on top, down here on the bottom is the SPX. And sorry that was so darn long and long-winded, but anyway, let me actually clean this up because we've already seen it. We know what it is, you know what we were looking at. But check this out. It's a big deal. Up top here is Bitcoin. It's a daily chart. It broke the 314 moving average. It was already above the 200. That's very, very powerful. I like what I'm seeing. We all dig it. It's good. It's wonderful. Bottom chart here, S&P 500. It didn't make it over the 314 moving average. It got rejected from the 314 moving average. Is that not something rather interesting? So usually I would have expected the S&P 500 to have to break that 314 moving average on the daily, find some support above it before Bitcoin could follow. But Bitcoin has done it. And now the S&P 500 is doing exactly the opposite. This is unprecedented. This is weird. The S&P 500, which usually Bitcoin would follow, S&P 500 getting rejected off the 314, could not quite get above it, but Bitcoin did. This is very, very interesting. What does this tell you? In my opinion, I'm just saying, I'm just going to prophesize some weird stuff here, but I have a feeling, that that institutional money, big money, is just buying Bitcoin right now because, let's face it, they know things we don't. So with that said, boom, that's an interesting split. Definitely something to note. Anyway, let's look at some alts that are going insane right now. Okay, alts, Filecoin versus USDT. Insane today. Bounced that 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. Look at that. Boom. Explosion. Crazy. Some alts are already moving hardcore. And we're seeing Bitcoin begin to get a little bit of life, probably pump up % or two today. But, of course, if Bitcoin stays strong, moves up gradually, it's going to give stuff like Filecoin here a chance to really pop off. So Filecoin lost its dang mind. Now let's try to find some coins that are getting ready to do what Filecoin did, So let's look at the Bitcoin here. Bitcoin in the top 100. Bitcoin coming in at 24,418. As you can see, coins in general moving into the green this morning. Some more than others. Definitely, as you can see, Filecoin definitely took off. OKB started to move. Definitely. Where's OKB? I have some of these guys pulled up here. We'll just use this here. That's Clay. Yeah, as you can, let's look at Clay. Clay moved up today. Clay is insane. Look at that extreme pumping, massive volume. Clay, wow, on the 4-hour chart. Moving up. Now, kind of hard to catch these guys. They're a bit up there, so we're going to be waiting for retraces there. But let's say things that haven't quite taken off so hardcore, like OKB. OKB, USDT. You can play that on not a lot of exchanges, but it is on Gate.io. A lot of people have that. Boom, moving up good. Yeah, not too exciting. I don't really want to go through all these. I mean, really, there's just is anything that's like, Clay is looking good. It's all about finding something that hasn't quite cranked as much yet, like RPL, Rocket Fuel. How are you doing, little Rocket Fuel? What's that one called? RPL versus USDT. That's on Binance, CoinX, KuCoin. I like it. Let's check out RPL there. Okay, not doing too bad. This one, maybe this one still has some life in it. Like a little pump going there, but it's retracing. So anyway, hard to catch these coins. A lot of them took off before Bitcoin was really. I look at Bitcoin right now as it's kind of on the. If I was to pull up just a Bitcoin chart, like I say, BTC, USDT. Oh, sorry about that. Wrong thing. Let's look at what you've already looked at, but BTC, USDT, on Binance. It's starting to perk up. We got 3 consecutive bodies stacked on each other on the 4-hour chart here of the candles. So they turn purple. So the candles by Sam is firing off. In general, you have a nice. This looks good. If we can get past that previous resistance or support, as you would look at it, I'll fire that little ray off there, just so you can see. Ray, horizontal ray. Seems like this is kind of our resistance right now, or you might even say like it's about like here. Maybe it's down here. But anyway, we're working on getting over a little bit of our resistance. So once we do, we're probably going to be doing pretty darn well. 45-minute chart. One of my little favorites. As you can see, yeah, you can definitely see it needs to get over that previous higher high that I pointed out before. So Bitcoin's starting to perk up. The squeeze indicator looking good. Directional X looking good. Beautiful volume coming in. So anyway, we'll probably see a move up today. And even if Bitcoin just stays sideways, we're going to see some really, really happy alts. I could go through lots of them, but I mean, it's just about, you got to just find an alt that hasn't really lost its damn mind yet, and hop in it and ride that beautiful pump, or just hang out in Bitcoin. What else is here today? Okay, I wanted to got my little things a little bit messed up. Let's look at some other one. We didn't look at this morning. Dollar strength index is in the red today. Still above the 314 moving average, but a red candle. We'll see what happens. It's still broken out of that downwards channel that it was in. So a dollar strength index is not having a powerful day, which is good, which is probably allowing the Bitcoin to move. And the commodities, you can see in the middle bottom here, gold, bottom right is silver. That's probably why those are moving, and also why Bitcoin is moving. But if you look at the top right-hand corner, SPX just dumping hard. Look at that, terrible. Open with a gap. That's crappy. Bitcoin, of course, still about the 314. Green candle, beautiful day. Oil dumping today, red candle. Now, if you were a commodities trader, well, I say if you were an oil trader, I mean, you probably would be enjoying this volatility. I mean, look at that. If that's not just an obvious, range, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, beautiful. Anyway, so there's that. Let's look at some dog coins here for fun. Floki versus USDT. Elon Musk kind of tweeted about this and pumped it yesterday. Are we making a .5 bounce here? Get back above that 382. Volume's not really showing it yet. Who knows? I said I'd point this one out. This one could still be in play if you're in it. If I was in it, I wouldn't necessarily sell at this moment, but I don't know if I'd buy it either. Anyway, this made great gains. Thank you, Elon. I would love to be a member of his billionaire pump and dump club. If anybody can get me in, just, I'll give you 10% for the big guy. Anyway, just kidding. Allegedly, not financial advice. Anyway, Shiba Inu versus Tether. This is a daily chart. It's been cranking. Well, it's been kind of sideways, but daily chart above the 200 moving average, above the 314 moving average, very, very powerful. Look at this nice fib sequence. We're kind of finding support on that 382 fib level. I like what I'm seeing there. If we get to immediate price action for Shiba Inu, it has actually dipped below the 200 moving average, but got back above it, kind of making a move off the 314. Super Guppy indicator just went green. All the EMAs are green. Squeeze indicator, look at that squeeze indicator looking good. The actual next kind of flat, but in the green. ADX needs to turn up. Volume's not incredible, but in general, though, just looking at this one, trade at your own risk. I don't know. This is not too exciting, but as far as they go, if this guy did make a move, get a Ray going here. Ray bonk. It's like this previous. Here we go. Bonk. If we did do that, this guy did turn up. I mean, if you're really I would say it's a high risk trade for sure. But from where we're sitting, if we got back to that, that's 3.9%. So you could do 3%. Maybe out of that, if it moved back up, you never know. It might get some energons going and some velocity and keep going. Anyway, not the best TA there on that one, but what else we got going on here? Anything else to kind of look at that's really interesting? Rocket Pool, just AR is just our AR weave is 4.5. Let's look at AR. I kind of like AR. AR USDT. You can play it on Binance or KuCoin. I'm looking on KuCoin here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so big volume came in, moved it up. Nice 314 bounce not long ago. I like what I'm seeing there. The upwards channel it's got. You can kind of draw it like that if you want it. Yeah, it did fall out of it. It certainly did. Came back into it. This is not looking too bad. I kind of like what I'm seeing. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart looking good. Beautiful volume coming in. Kind of tough. The 200 moving average is kind of very far away there on the 4-hour chart. Look at an hour. Kind of a hard one to play right now. But look on the hourly chart, and if you were a little crazy, you do something like where's that thing? Long position. You could kind of go about here. You could do something like that, like buy it at the bottom of that channel, tight stop. It's either going to bounce or not, or just wait until you see it actually bounce. But it would not surprise me if this guy kind of went bonk, bonk, like that, and if it did actually make that move, that might get you like off the bottom of that channel. That could be, oops, sorry about that. Off the bottom of that channel, you might be able to hit like, 10%. Not bad, not a bad swing. So I'm gonna keep my eye on AR. It's definitely a possible one. R wave, or R weave. Anyway, sorry, it's an amazing day in the market. Many things are taking off. It's all about something, just finding yourself an early file coin and getting in there. This one definitely did make a move, and I do like it. And you can kind of see one of our secret indicators right there, that little guy there. That's a kind of proprietary blockchain education thing. So we kind of knew this was going to run when it broke that 200 based on some other indicators, and of course it did. So anyway, but to get that super goodness, you gotta join blockchain education. Anyway, guys, let me just keep on rocking here. I'm going to share this. And now for some news. This is just some good commentary over at WRSA. It's a good little YouTube. Good. It's Western Rifle Shooters.us. It's funny name for for things, but it's kind of a message board, kind of an old school a bunch of rednecks and such talking about things. And so I shared that. This is just good commentary on, are we under attack, but looking at recent events and things like that. You might enjoy it, like a little bit of an update on things. Binance explorers severing all ties to U.S. amid regulatory crackdown. This was kind of found out to be instantly false. The Binance CEO said no. Z was like, no, that's not the case. But CZ said, no, it's not happening. But just the fact that this even came up, and looking at this article, it is interesting. We were giving BUSD, whoever it was, that guy looks like a dead fish, whatever it is, whatever his role and things is, I forget his name. But, they were giving BUSD a hard time. And, it doesn't, this is an interesting article. I think it's kind of a scare article. You can read it. I mean, I can put it in the chat. It just basically, it's an interesting thing. It was kind of, I don't think CZ was ever really going to do that, but just somehow, I just think it's very elegantly kind of an idea leaked, interesting, interesting thing to do, because CZ came around right away from Binance and said, no, that's not the case. But after all, who's that guy? Does it mention it here again? Forget his name. Who was going after BUSD, saying it's a security. What's that guy's name? The guy that looks like a dead fish, whatever his name is. That loser from the SEC, I think it is, wherever he's from, whatever. Anyway, he wanted to give these guys a hard time, and this is interesting. It's almost like a political bluff, where okay, we'll just cut ties, and then they turn around and said, no, that's not going to be the case. Interesting, crafts work. Anyway, I won't belabor it, but this is interesting play. Binance is big. That guy, what's that guy's name? Sorry. He's from the S, Security Exchange, right? What's that guy's name? Dead fish looking guy. Can I look at real quick? Head of this dude, yeah. Gary Gensler. Look at that. Dead tuna. He was going after, he was talking smack about BUSD, I think it was. And interesting statescraft, for CZ to be like, oh, well, we'll just say F you, we don't need you. And then to immediately deny it. Interesting work. I think it kind of showing that guy like, dude, you don't run the universe and you look funny. Anyway, Manheim used car prices to reaccelerate. Used car price. Oh, sorry. Let's forget this word here. Used car prices reaccelerate as disinflation narratives falter. So basically, it was the largest February increase since 2019. And the issue here is the gist of this article is basically this very well could show it's quicker than CPI, that's Consumer Price Index, and what PPI, Producer Price Index. This is an important thing. So basically, the idea is this could have very well, since the Fed wants, Fishman wants this guy Fishman, and that other dude, whatever it is, the other guy. They want 2%, inflation rate. Anyway, this shows that basically, we might not be matching that. So maybe the whole gist of the article is that maybe they'll just hike the interest rates again, because this, in other words, like something good happened in the economy that doesn't match what they want. So that there's going to, maybe our next rate hike might be hawkish, and that'll get things back where they want it. So you have to realize I never understood how evil these people are, in that to fix the economy that ultimately they wrecked and things like that. No citizen did anything wrong. I mean, it's really these guys managing the show. It's not what they want. So they're basically crushing the consumers, causing bankruptcy. I was looking at Zero Hedge earlier, and there was a great article on, I think it was like not VIX buying, but U.S. Recession signals grow as consumers struggle to pay bills. Like this article here. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're crushing business. They're crushing consumers until they get things corrected in the way that they want. So anyway, no love for this ass clown. And anyway, so it's terrible what's going on. And unfortunately, since used cars prices were coming down, I guess, they're like, no, that's not what we want. So we're going to raise the interest rate, something like that. Got kind of confused reading the article, but one way or the other, used car sales were doing better than expected. And so boom, they're going to crush the economy next rate hike. Just possible. That's what they were saying. Illinois Hobby Club believes Pentagon shot down a $12 balloon. I'm sure you've seen this. I'll share it. But basically, I've been in amateur radio most of my life. And I actually know these little weather balloons. I've done some like modern rocketry with these things, these little chips. So this chip, it goes like, this is my call sign. This is who I am. Because it's broadcasting its location and then like its call sign, and I don't know what frequencies that's on. But the thing is, like that's why these people this thing can go around the earth, and I think it's it's a shortwave signal, I do believe. I forget what range it's in. This thing has like I think it's only a transmitter, not a transceiver. But basically, this little chip's going around the world, has a little solar panel, and it's going beep, 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 and it's doing some readings. And this is a hobby group with weather balloons, And so anyway, they're always announcing, this is who I am and whatever. So in a sense, like you just can't, especially as a hobby club, fire these things off without all the proper, regulations. So basically, it's announcing, this is me, and this is where I am. This is me, this is where I am. That's what it does. I don't know if they can self-destruct or not, but you got to keep them within certain altitudes and all, because they can mess with planes. It's not good. But anyway, this thing was out there flying. They knew where it was, and suddenly it disappeared when an F-22 shot something down exactly where this thing disappeared. So, it's sad. And even Edward Snowden, who I'm going to say, I'm not an Edward Snowden fan. I don't believe he actually exists. I think he's totally a psyop. Just saying my take on it. Don't shoot the messenger. I'll be proven right in time. Please tell me the White House did not spend the month of February scrambling jets to fire $400,000 missiles at the local hobby club's $12 balloon. Well, they shot 2 to take this one down, I do believe. And then plus the jet fuel and everything. This is $1 million expense plus to shoot down a hobby weather balloon that would have had a beacon saying, this is who I am, and this is where I am, and this is who I am, this is where I am. I have a hard time believing that our military doesn't have a shortwave radio and doesn't know these things. The hobby club knew where it was. It's scary. Either this was just a total, this is either like, let's shoot down a weather balloon and say that it was, to get, I don't know, eyes off other things, to control a narrative. There's many reasons why they could have done it. But I almost hope this was to be a psyop, because if not, that's serious incompetence when our military doesn't know a hobby weather balloon that broadcast. These guys knew where it was. So since they knew where it was, the military didn't pick up on this signal, this amateur, I believe it's an amateur radio signal band saying, this is what I am, and this is where I'm at. This is where I am, and this is who I am. Did we really not know? Anyway, China-based former employee accused of stealing data from Dutch chip giant. Some people say this is a big story. Did a China individual, an agent of China, snag info about chip technology from giant ASML? Who are they called actually? Anyway, this time it was a China-based former employee of Dutch chip agent, Dutch chip ASML Holding, as accused of stealing data from the system that the company uses to store technical information about its machinery. Anyway, hard to tell what he really got. Maybe like some info that helps them. Yeah, the theft took place from a repository that reportedly houses details of lithography systems used in the world's most advanced chips. So I have a hard time believing that China just can't, like, maybe this is real, but it's interesting. It's definitely a story that made some news here and there, but not quite mainstream channels. But anyway, could be interesting. Here's one. Viral clip of George Soros seemingly endorsing Governor Ron DeSantis leaves out his true agenda. Anyway, I know this may seem like it's political, but it's really not. I'll tell you straight up, I don't give a crap about Ron DeSantis. And I'm not a Trumper either, so it's none of that. It's just that basically when this slithery old reptile says something, does something, there's always deep state globalist reasons why. I mean, at like the WEF level, okay? And so anyway, this guy's playing games, and most likely what they were saying is, could Trump run as a third party? So in a sense, if Lizard Man here can get DeSantis as the Republican nominee, it would force Trump to run as a third party, which would pretty much ensure a Democrat win. For what it's worth, ain't about party. This guy doesn't have parties. He is, if you don't know who he is, then that's fine. We all know who Soros is. And whatever he does is basically, its foundations are evil. So this guy's already at work on the 2024 elections here in the US. Just keep an eye on this reptile, because whatever he's doing does not matter what your bias is. I'm talking about humanity being alive versus humanity not. We know what side he's on. His slithery head is popped up and he's talking crap. So beware. Something just to keep an eye on. Floki making that .05 bounce. Maybe it'll keep going. Watch this thing. Watching a 15-minute chart. You never know. Elon might tweet again. I'm watching this thing. 15-minute chart starting to look good. Floki might run. Anyway, total half-ass trade. But anyway, SHIB starting to get some life to it. Here's something to end the day on. The Moscow Rules, the secret CIA tactics that helped America win the Cold War. Good book. It comes in the Audible if you've never read it. I like it. It's a fun book. I'm sorry, I have read it. It's a fun book. It's actually rather interesting things. But here are the Moscow Rules. You can save yourself a few hours listening or reading, because it all comes down to this. I'm going to leave the amazing Bitcoin truth seekers with some Moscow Rules, because this is very, very powerful stuff. Words to live by. So here are the Moscow Rules, because we're living in dangerous times right now. Soros just stuck his head out of hell and said something, this thing over here by Washington, what is it called? Western Rifle Shooters, definitely worth checking out. I put it in the live chat. It's a very, very good little chat about just, are we going to attack? Well, you know what I mean? Watch out. This monster's making statements. So I would say probably. So it's good to know the Moscow Rules, because they're good to live by, and get yourself a gas mask. All right, here are the Moscow Rules, okay? Assume nothing. Never go against your gut. Big one. I think number 2 is number 1, honestly. So assume nothing. Never go against your gut. Everyone is potentially under opposition control. Everyone is potentially under opposition control. Do not look back. Do not look back. You are never completely alone. And don't look back. You'll turn into a pillar of salt. We all know that old story. Don't look back. You are never completely alone. Don't worry. Someone's watching you. Someone's telling you. Go with the flow. Blend in. Be the gray man. Vary your pattern and stay within your cover. Seriously. Lull them into a sense of complacency. Yeah. Lull them into a sense of complacency. Do not harass the opposition. Big one. This is one the Biden administration would learn from right now. Don't harass the opposition. Pick the time and place for action. You pick the time and place for action. Keep your options open. Heck yeah. And your blade sharp. So with that said, here's a little nice thing to end this, to end the show on. Did you know Mike Tyson set his sights on becoming a boxer after a bully killed? Mike Tyson set his sights on becoming a boxer after a bully killed one of his pigeons in front of him. I don't know if that's true or not, but I kind of believe it. So one way or the other, it's something to think about. You killed this guy's pigeon, you were a bully, he took on the Moscow Rules, and the next thing you know, he was master of the world. Well, here we go, y'all. I love the smell of red shorts in the morning, and they smell like victory to me. And I think that Bitcoin is going to take off. Let's see this weekend how it goes. I definitely think that a week ahead, wrecking those longs could happen, then followed by wrecking those shorts. overall, probably a continuing upwards pattern, but watch out. The big money wants your Satoshis and they're coming to get them. So keep those stops tight. Don't give too many back. With that said, Bitcoin Truth Seekers, I'm glad you're part of the peaceful revolution. I'm glad you're not shooting down hobby weather balloons. You're smarter than that. You're the one probably putting them up in the air, actually. And, anyway, take care. Remember, for every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, you punch an evil old nasty reptilian globalist right in the nuts. Take care.